Hello, students and piano enthusiasts. In this particular instructional video, I'm going to teach you how to play jazz piano via the song Over the Rainbow. Okay? Now, one thing that I like to stress in my videos, and many of you already know this, but I'm going to say it again. I like to stress with all my students the why of what I'm doing. Anyone can play their version of a song and tell you the particular chords they are using, etc. But the real question that needs to be addressed is why? Why do I use block style in this measure? Why do I use a walking bass in this measure or in this tune? Okay? And sometimes the student can learn even more by me answering the question, why not? Okay, so there's a lot of fancy videos out there where they show the multiple keyboards and the dots going along while playing, but to me, the value of my teaching is that I'm going to teach you concepts. I'm going to teach you lifelong concepts like chromatic dominant, pure dominance, chromatic diminish, walking bass lines, block style, quasi-block style, tertiary series substitutes. All of these concepts, that once they are learned and mastered, can be applied in any song. Okay, so I want to teach you how to fish, not just give you a fish. Okay, so let's start right in on Over the Rainbow. Let's say you're a beginner. You might want to play something like this. Triads, right? Left hand's playing closed, etc. Let's say you're a advanced beginner. You want to play closed position, but 4-note chords. Right? 7th chords, D minor 7, A minor 7. Right? But what if you encounter this melody, but you want to play it low? Well, you need to play it open, because if you play it closed, remember closed means all the notes are within the span of an octave, it's too muddy. So the remedy for that is to play open, which basically is a concept, once mastered, is very easy. You just transfer the third up an octave into the right hand, and now you have a beautiful open position chord which is not too muddy. Here's C7, here's A minor, right? Here's my melody. Cannot play G minor 7 closed, must play it open. Okay? So that's a concept there. Anytime you have a chord that's too low sounding, just transfer the third up an octave, and you have a beautiful open position chord. Okay? A lot of classically trained musicians trying to find the chord, it gets in the way of the melody, play it low, it's too muddy. Right? They're like, oh, I'll just play what Beethoven wrote. No. Anything that's too low or muddy, you just transfer the third, and you have a beautiful open position chord. Okay? So that was maybe an intermediate level. Let's say you wanted to do a more advanced version. Let's say I wanted to add some ninths, maybe. Open position, ninths. There's my 9. There's a G minor 9. That's pretty, right? Here's a 9 in the melody. 13. Okay, so when can you add a ninth? So you can add a ninth to almost any chord. If I played this low, open, I could add the ninth here. A little muddy, but it's still good. Here's D minor. Now if I add the ninth here, then I'm crowd the melody. So that's the one case, okay, that you cannot use the ninth, and that's when the melody is the minor third. So I know that, so I don't try the ninth there. Here's a 7th. Here the ninth is the melody, right? And so therefore, basically I could double it, get a nice bite. Here's my G minor. I could add the ninth. Remember, the ninth is a whole step above the root, or the 8. 8, 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's my 9. Okay, here's my ninth in the melody. Now, can I do a ninth with this melody for the A minor? No, the ninth is too close to the melody. Okay? G minor 9, beautiful chord, right? Let's say I wanted to add 11ths. Here we go. 2, and here we go. Okay, so when can you add 11ths, right? This is the idea of concepts. This is not some arbitrary thing I come up with, okay? I know I can add, or try to attempt to add, an 11th anytime I have a minor. So here's my D minor, add my 11th, right, which is the same as 4. And now I've got a nice jazz sound, right? What's the 11th for the A minor? There's my 11th, right? How about G minor 11? Beautiful chord, right? Maybe I want to do C11. Resolve the 4 to 3. Another 11, right? It's a minor chord. So anytime there's a minor chord, you can try and add the 11th for more color, okay? So to review, open position is going to be your best bet. It's going to allow you to play lower on the piano without being muddy. You can add a 9th to almost any chord except for when the melody is the minor third of the chord, because that means if you're playing D minor 7, the melody is the minor third, the 9th will always be a half step away, and that's going to crowd the melody, obscure the melody. We don't want that, okay? So that's one of those, not so much why, but why not? Why can I not play the 9th? Well, because it crowds the minor third. So I just memorize, and it's easy for you to memorize as well, when the melody is the minor third, can't do the 9. Otherwise, pretty much all the time you can do it. 11s can be used with minor. Right? So we see all that with the second chord, D minor. Right? D minor 11. Here's my 11. Right? Even the third chord, A minor 7, is here. I can catch the 11 there. Right? Okay, so all these concepts, 9s, 11s, 13s. Okay, so here's another example. Let's say I wanted to do the 13th. Here's a C7. I could do a 13th, which is the same as 6. Right? How about a G7 or a G13? That's nice. Etc. Okay, so you can try to apply the most color with dominance. So if I have a dominant, like here, I could do 13th. C13. Here's my 13th. I could do a flat 13 also. I could do a sharp 11. There's my sharp 11 with a 13, etc. Okay, so what are the colors for a dominant chord? Just about anything. 9, sharp 9, flat 5, raised 5, right? Those are the so-called altered notes. All right? So again, I'm not going to just play for you, or if you become a student of mine, I'm not going to just send you a lead sheet. I'm going to explain to you what I'm thinking and why I'm choosing this particular voicing or color in this particular case. So if we know, this is fun to teach, if we know that the dominant chord has the most possibilities for color, let's see if we can put one in. How about B flat 7, moving to A minor, okay? That's another concept I'll teach you. Now once I determine that sounds okay, now I can go for more color, like B flat 13, right? And then into the A minor. Okay, so it's actually very desirable to put in dominant chords where possible. Okay, and I'll teach you why that B flat 7 moves to A minor 7, so you understand that concept and you're able to apply it. Okay, let's try it elsewhere. So here we go, the dominant chord, lots of color. Here's another dominant, lots of color. 13th, flat 13, 2 and 3. Here's my 9, 2, lots of color for the dominant. Lots of color. Okay, so anytime we have a dominant chord, we can throw in what I call the kitchen sink. 9, sharp 11, 13, or any combination thereof. Flat 5, raised 5th. Okay, experiment with that. A lot of fake books, it'll say C7, then the letters ALT, alt, meaning alterations or altered notes, like flat 9s, flat 5s, raised 5s. Okay, that's what that means in a fake book. Okay, but I will teach you the possible colors for all the chords, whether it's major, whether it's minor, whether it's dominant, or whether it's diminished. Okay, and again, once you understand these concepts, let's apply them in songs. Every single song that has a dominant, you can add lots of color to. Okay. Oh, what else could we do? Oh, we could play rootless. Let's say I want to do a B flat chord, but I want to do it rootless. There's no B flat in that chord, right? But I still got the B flat 7 essentials, which is the lowered 7 and the third. So, that's a much brighter, more jazzy tune, jazzy voicing, excuse me, right, than the root position. So once you determine what chords you like, then you have an option to go ahead and play them rootless, something like this. Right, there's my A flat, but it's rootless. Here's a C, but it's rootless. There's no C in this chord. Okay, so strategically, as an arranger, performer, I'm thinking, okay, first time through the song, maybe I'll play it open with 7s. Second time through the song, I'll add or change some of the chords to dominants, therefore allowing more color, like 9s, 11s, 13s. Maybe the third time I do block. Or maybe I do targeting a specific chord. That's what I call backing into or targeting a specific known correct chord with chords that move into that chord logically. Okay, and that's what jazz is all about. Finding a target chord and saying, okay, I want A minor. How can I get to A minor? Well, I can get to A minor through an E dominant. You can go to A minor, right? There's many ways to get to A minor, but that's probably the most common. E being the 5 of A minor. Okay, so that's one of what I call one of the 3 main jazz reharmonization pillars. You've got a target, meaning any correct known chord, okay, and then you say, okay, can I put some chords before that target chord that are completely logical in terms of its respective 5 or its respective 2/5. Okay, we can get into counter melodies in the bridge section. Etc. Okay, so a lot of fun stuff, and this is just one example. I chose this because it's one of the most popular songs from a movie for sure, and it's got a ton of potential for reharmonization. Okay, we touched on some of the concepts. Other concepts I will show you are tertiary series substitutes, walking bass lines, rootless voicings, melodic enhancement, melodic embellishment. I did a little bit of that. Right, that. Etc. Okay, so have fun exploring some of these possibilities, and if you are interested in getting a free 30-minute no obligation lesson anywhere in the world, I teach over Skype. I teach in 12 different countries on 4, soon to be 5 continents, and I love teaching students. You might ask, why don't I show a picture of myself? Well, because I would have to cut and paste. I'm just too busy to be doing that. I want to just show people, how to play the piano. I'm not necessarily into showing them, hi, how are you, and then cutting to the piano and all the other stuff. I want to cut right to the chase, so to speak, show you concepts, teach you right away. But again, if you're at all interested or have any comments, please contact me through my websites, pianoweb.com or jazzpianoworld.com. Or you can contact me on Skype. My Skype name is PianoWebMan, and or Mark Miller from Barrington, Illinois, and that's the United States of America. Okay, so have fun, practice hard, and if you would like to view some more free instructional videos, just go to my website, pianoweb.com. Click on the YouTube icon, which will link you over to my YouTube channel, where I have over 30 free for the viewing instructional videos. If you'd like to listen to some free audio instructional podcasts, go to either pianoweb.com or my other website, jazzpianoworld.com, and click on the drop-down menu titled Podcasts, and you can listen to 10 or 12 instructional audio files. Okay, so have fun, and remember to be creative. Experiment with some of these ideas, and if I can help you, please contact me.